Welcome back in. It's another edition of Inside the Tornado presented by Walk-Ons. I'm your host, Chris Mangrum, and our guest today is the head coach of our cross country and track and field programs, Jack Brunecz. Jack, as always, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, it's year 2 in this program for you. What type of culture have you been trying to set with your team, and how would you say it's been going so far?
I think one of the biggest things is just keeping each other accountable, having the integrity that any coach expects out of their student athletes. So as one coach of the cross-country program, and especially like the nature of the sport, if we're out on a long run, I mean, that could be from point A all the way to point B that's a 9-10 mile distance apart from each other. Yeah. So there's many opportunities where I can't see what's going on. So instilling that into the kids is one of the biggest things. But I think they've done a great job with that. I've seen a lot of kids keeping each other accountable, especially like if there's any weekend runs where like they kind of have to do it a little bit more so on their own. They keep in touch with me about how those workouts are going, and they're on top of it.
Well, the women's team has now competed in 2 meets, has set a handful of PRs thus far. How would you assess the performance of your women's squad this season?
I mean, going into the season, like you see the preseason rankings, and I think where we're at right now, we're kind of just stacking up right there. Like we have had a lot of PRs. We are dealing with a little bit of the injury bug on both sides, actually, not just the ladies' side. So where some people are hitting some massive PRs and just helping the team in that regard, and just kind of making up for some of our other people who are just a little banged up and not quite where they need to be at this point. So we're kind of at the point on the preseason rankings where we stacked up.
Okay. Now, on the men's side, again, multiple PRs, a few events as well, but some conference recognition for one of your runners, Sean Kilpatrick, named the Men's Cross Country Runner of the Week for his recent performance. So tell us a little bit more about the guys' side, how that's going.
Yeah, speaking of Sean, I mean, it's definitely a well-deserved recognition. There's a lot of very talented guys in our conference. Yeah. So I think he was a little shocked that he received that recognition. But I think just kind of the way he took it, it just kind of shows the type of individual that he is. He's very humble, hardworking, very go with the flow, and he puts in the work. But he's on an absolute tear right now. He's definitely leading the men's team for sure. The last 2 meets, our only 2 meets, he has hit pretty massive PRs, especially the most recent one was a 58-second PR. Yeah. So he is really stepping it up in lieu of a couple of our veterans, seniors, Mason and Jordan, who aren't able to. Mason's back now, but he's just coming back from an injury, and Jordan he's kind of dealing with his thing too. So where we don't have like that senior leadership at the moment because they really haven't been able to be there. Yeah. We've had some of our younger-ish guys that are sophomores just really step up and just elevate the team in that regard. But aside from Sean, though, the rest of the team, especially at the first meet of the season, that one really stuck out to me. We have an opportunity as a men's team to have a real tight pack, all the way from our runners number 2 all the way to number 7. They were only 38 seconds apart from each other at our first meet. So over the span of 5 miles, that's pretty tight.
Well, conference championships coming up a little more than a month out from this point. What would you say are your goals for your groups as you guys progress towards that conference championship meet? Yeah,
so I think first and foremost, you want to stay healthy, because when you're healthy, that's when consistency can happen. Yeah. If you're not healthy, I mean, it's just a beast to overcome, and especially at this point in the season, health is paramount. So just getting back to full strength is key. But aside from that, though, like every meet we go to, we just want to keep progressing just a little bit more. Yeah. And I think that just helps from a confidence standpoint, too.
Well, King's cross-country team is going to head to Rock Hill, South Carolina coming up to compete in the Adidas Invitational at Winthrop on September 28th. You can find their roster, upcoming schedule, all the results from their meets on our website, kingtornado.com. For Coach, I'm Chris. This has been yet another edition of Inside the Tornado presented by Walk-Ons. Thanks for watching. See you next time.